Live. Audio's live. Okay.
Okay. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Pixel Tail Games developer live stream for May 20th, 2016. We've got a lot of the developers here today with us. We'll be talking about all the cool stuff that we've been working on, and I will hand it off to Macklin to start talking about those things.
Yeah. So we released a pretty cool update yesterday. I believe it was yesterday, right? Oh my god, I feel like that update has been a big thing. We got 3 maps that came out. We've been optimizing a few things with the plaza. Hopefully it's running a little better. We're still working on optimization, of course, always. Oh, we got Steam Cloud now, which is awesome. And then we got a lot of like the bank stuff.
What's Steam
faster.
Cloud?
What's Steam Cloud?
You can save your condo on the internet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh man. Whoa.
Yeah.
It synchronizes with Steam.
Dude, sign me
So
up
when
for
you
that.
go to another machine, you'll have your condo layout.
Where do I sign up?
You already signed up.
Steam.com.
Whoa.
Actually, just kidding.
Since when did you turn to
SteamPower.com.
Microsoft Sam?
Yeah.
I've always
Miss
been.
Anyway,
This
sorry.
is your
There.
computer's default voice.
We got
What to do?
got a lot of feedback on the new maps, which has been great. Obviously we're probably gonna do another update on those maps if we need to. I know Alpine has some performance issues that we're looking into. And
Yeah, there's. I think there's some shader things or whatever.
yeah, we've looked into that. I think we have some fixes. Hopefully we can improve it in the next update. Let's see. I love. Is it Galaxy or Galaxy? Lifeless. I can never remember. This is just Galaxy, right?
It's Galaxy. It's
Okay.
Galaxy.
Confirmed.
Galaxy, I really like, and the music's great that Will did. And hopefully that's gonna be on the soundtrack soon. Probably I think Monday or Tuesday next week, if we can. I think that's about all I have to say about the update that we haven't already said from like the actual update. I've just been working on a lot of stuff the past couple weeks, and it's kind of been crazy. So
Lots of back end stuff.
yeah, a lot of back end stuff.
Yep. Specifically the bank.
Yeah. Zach was up all night last night fixing issues with that.
Yeah, so I don't know if anyone's noticed, but bank transactions when you're buying stuff, it's faster now. Woo.
Yeah. It's also some changes so that we can get like the casino stuff too, the back end for that, right? Because you had to do a bunch of changes for that, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And I don't know. Is that about it for that? Anyone else want to say anything about the update?
It's better.
People should play it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm interested to see get a little spike in player count this weekend. See. You want to show off your models now, Lifeless?
I guess so.
Let me pull that up.
I guess, yeah,
I
whatever.
guess.
I mean, like, if I have to.
Do. This is what this is for.
What?
Alright, I'm turning it on.
Okay.
Hey, you're live.
You on?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been taking some of the suggestions from the thread on the forums and been taking some of the items and just, making them for you guys. We've got obviously the basketball and the basketball hoop. I believe Mac is planning to make it so you can pick up that basketball.
Oh yeah. I'm making it so that you can pick up physics objects like that and then toss them. And it'll kind of be like also for the arcade in the future too, I'm hoping. But yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously we have well, I mean, you can see it for yourself. We've got gramophone, we've got a boxing ring, we've got umbrella stand with umbrellas in, and we've got a I've suddenly forgotten the word for it because I'm good at that. The ceiling fan.
Yeah, that's
and
the one.
that's the one. And yeah. So those are the items I've been making this week, and that hopefully we'll see some more items. I'll be able to complete some more items before the next update, whenever we do that.
Yeah, I got some other items that I want to do, like window panes and a bunch of like the placeable door. I want to try to get that in too with this
We
all
gotta
those
make
items.
more building block stuff.
Oh yeah,
I
building
think
block stuff.
I'm gonna do like glass panes and probably other stuff. I gotta think. There's a ton of other. There's like the tiny ones from Tower that I haven't done yet, and all that junk. So I'll look
Yeah.
into it. Yeah.
And hopefully
by-
fixing some of the movement of inventory, which we did in the last this update. Moving things around is way better.
In relevance, oh my god, in relevance with items. If people want to suggest items, there is a thread on the forums, a mega thread. Could someone post that? Because it'd be nice to get some more ideas going around for what people want.
that thread. Sec.
I mean, luckily there's a bit of a
Well, I
stream
can actually
delay,
talk
so
about
they'll
that
get it in a
too.
minute.
That's kind of a small segue. We also updated the forums recently. If you haven't
Oh,
seen,
yes.
you can vote on like specific suggestions, and then like bug reports. Staff can check them off, and like same with questions, we can check them off so you can see where the answers are a lot easier. Oh, you got it. Okay, Caboose posted the thread for the item mega. The item mega
In the
thread
chat.
The mega thread.
in the Twitch chat. But yeah, we do look at those threads. So good chance what you suggest could be added. So keep using that, it helps us. Is that all you wanted to say, Lifeless?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Switch. Oh, it's showing my account stuff. Showing my monitor, the Twitch chat. Where is... Right, okay. Which I actually do want to show my monitor. So, another thing that I've been working on, but I haven't been able to touch it for much because of the update that we've been doing, was like the lobby game stuff. I think I talked about it in the last stream, but I didn't actually get to like really show much off. And it's really not that much, but it's all back end stuff. But I've been using the shooting gallery as like a really simple like gameplay test for everything. And so I got like the basic gameplay loop going, and it needs lots of work, but what matters is the code behind it, and a lot of this is like code that Zach did. That's just all behind the scenes, and then I just kind of mess around with it. So like this thing that's happening is you can enter the game, multiple players can like play it, and it's got a timer, and it's just like a game world but in the lobby, and that's pretty cool on its own. This game itself is not that great though, but it's a really simple test for right now, so I can just test the whole like system. And then it's got its own scoreboard, it's got its own scoring system, it sorts you by rank and all that stuff. So this like whole like simple demo I'm showing off would be the basis for lobby games, because I really want to try to get those up and running as quickly as possible. So the bowling would use this, the laser tag would use it, and it'd have similar elements to it. Another thing like we wanted to do is have mini payouts, but we're gonna do that later. So there's a lot of like things we're thinking about with the lobby games, but for when they first come out, we're probably gonna have it so that they're just high score based, just so we can get them to work and feel good, and then we'll add payouts later. So we'll probably have bowling and shooting gallery and all that stuff, but they won't pay out for a bit, just so we can get them to like not be terrible. Because it's a little bit different than Game Worlds, Game Worlds, they're on their own server. You got like 5 or 10 people, and that's it. But with the lobby, you can have like 64 players also playing like multiple games in the same area. So we want to make sure that works really well before throwing payouts in there. Yeah, so that's I wish it was a little bit more interesting, but it is kind of like the springboard for the rest of everything. So really have much else to say about that. It's good progress. It's not much to, but it's good progress. Just rest assured. And I do want to load up the other thing, but it's gonna take me a bit.
What is the other thing?
The condo stuff. Let me see if I can actually load it a little faster than.
Oh, so I
But
forgot to mention something about the update.
yeah,
Condo lobby peer-to-peer, being able to chat between your condo and the lobby and vice versa. That previously that did not work on Linux dedicated servers, and we fixed that. So yeah.
yeah, which is good because the next update, since everything's starting to really come together with that, I've been getting a lot of like input from people about how the condos are set up. It's kind of hard to find the doors, so it's like a perfect segue. I just did this today. It's really not much, and it's not hooked up to anything, but we're starting to like number the condos. So you'll have an actual number when you get a condo this time, and it'll be a lot easier to tell your friends where your door is, and then they can follow you in. So each floor has 109, you got 209, 309, 409, 509. Pretty simple. There's 16 doors per floor, and it's a lot easier to find things. So that's something we're working on, and then like the next update, hopefully we can get something where when you leave to go to a condo, it says where you're going, and you can tell your friends, hey, I'm in condo, 311, and you should go that door, and they can find you a lot easier than I'm in a random condo. So that's what it is right now. But yeah, that's pretty much it with the condos for right now. I mean, we're kind of working on trying to get the lobby like stuff going a lot better than it has been recently.
we should we
what?
should come up with a better way of allocating those condos because
Yeah.
it's kind of random right now. But what if we had it like start at the bottom and then like work upwards? So
Yeah, I would like that. I haven't even told Fui about this feature. That's how new this idea
it's
is.
so top secret. We're sharing it with the whole world before we share it with Fui.
Yeah, pretty much. And he's the guy that does a lot of the condo stuff. He'll probably like this. He's been waiting for this for a while. So with this we could change a lot of the things and way easier to find these doors. Yeah, that's a pretty small thing, but big at the same time. So Matt, do you want to show your stuff off now?
Yeah, I'm loaded up. Is it fine if I explain like the mechanics of what we want to do, or what's your?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, we haven't fully finished it, but
Dive
why not?
right into it.
Let me switch over.
There,
Alright, your screen's on.
All right. Well, we I don't even know where to begin with this. I guess we thought of an idea a couple weeks ago, and we wanted more boardwalk games. And so we decided to whip up this bad boy. Not functional yet, but I made the assets for it yesterday.
Yeah.
And we thought horse racing is a true staple of boardwalk games, except for we're not going to go with the physics-based thing. We thought it'd be cool to do a typing test, like kind of style race thing, where the words pop up and you type really fast, and that moves a horse. Sorry, there's spray people in my background, but so I whipped up these in like 4 hours yesterday, made the stools and all the other good stuff. So Mac just has to start hooking that up to the blueprint. And
Yeah.
the only other asset. What's up, Sam?
I just wanted to say that like that shootout gallery that Mac just showed, that's going to be, you can imagine the sort of functionality that had being in this game mode. So you could
pretty much
queue up in the chairs so they'll work the same. So that's kind of how they add off of each other.
Yeah.
Same with like casino stuff. They'd be simple.
Yeah, casino relies pretty heavy on that stuff. So yeah, the only other asset I hadn't made yet until today was the keyboard for it. So I whipped that up today.
Get close up with those horses.
Of the horses. Oh yeah, Rye.
Yeah.
Rye did the illustrations for it. That's such a lovely looking horse. He's got a tiny tail. Sorry, my camera speed's all messed up. Yes. Anyway, yeah, I made the keyboard. I'm still working on it right now. That's why the caps aren't done. But I just finished up the bacon stuff on that. I googled and apparently Arial is the font for keyboards, so I'm using Arial. I hope I'm
Hey
right.
man, it's different per keyboard.
All right, well, but I was also thinking about making this just an item you can buy in the electronics store too, because then it'll have multiple purposes. So you'll probably be able to see that once I finish it up. Yeah.
We have the like really advanced keyboard, don't we? So this is like the old console one
Yeah.
that you could use.
And I have individual keycaps, unlike the old computer, which has shared keycaps. You monster. I did a 128 by 256 UV.
Make this whole UI for like keycap customization.
Yep.
Yeah. You could just have like keyboards in your condo. They have like different keycap patterns on them.
Can you?
How many polys
Can
is
you
it?
make it?
Poly is, I think it's like 17 per cap.
Make
Actually, it
the
might be a
home
little bit
key
more.
broken, because that's what I always remember.
Oh, I forgot
Wow.
there's multiple UV or materials for it. So yeah, I've
It
got.
doesn't seem expensive.
I know
at all.
it. Yeah, it's not too bad. I think it'll total like 15 or 2K polys, but I'm gonna put an LOD on it so the caps disappear.
It's amazing. Good job.
Whatnot. Thanks, bud. Yeah, one day of work. But yeah, I'll keep working on the caps and whatever. 'Cause I like use my normal.
Yeah.
This is really messy kind of setup I'm doing. I don't really care too much. But, oh well. Anyway, yeah, that's all I really have to show off. I wish I had more, but here's a close up of my stool.
Oh, that's nice.
Fancy. Yeah.
Break up.
Anyway.
Okay. So yeah, let me just switch that off. See here. Yeah, and I can pull that up. So we haven't really talked about this much, but we did a post about it. But we've been another kind of like thing with the lobby games, is we're thinking about the trivia game from the old Gmod Tower. We actually thought about this for a while, and trying to do all the questions ourselves was like something that we wanted to avoid in the future because it's just a lot of work. And on top of that, it would never be up to date, and you would remember those questions really easily. And that kind of inspired the idea to make a trivia database. And we've posted about this for a while. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you probably already know about it, but we haven't showed it on the stream. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then Caboose is leaving. Caboose worked on this website. I did like the logo, and that's it. But it's all been his thing. So let me pull it up real quick.
He's got people fixing his toilet, so he can't be in the stream right now.
The big secret is Caboose is a big toilet.
So-
Whoa.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry.
God. No,
I know, fire me.
I love this website personally. So it's a really simple website. It's opentdb.com. You can just get a login. I didn't log in. I log in. Sign in. So once you log in and register an account, you can go ahead and add any questions you want, and then we go through and we like verify them, make sure that they're valid and factual. And then it's added to this huge database that the trivia will use in the game, and it'll just pull from random questions. So you always get like a new set of cool questions. So, anyways, it's pretty cool. I don't know how many questions we have. Quite a lot. How many? 300? 343 have been verified, and we got 373 to still keep going. So the more you guys add, the more we can like add to the trivia database, and then the trivia can be really, really cool. And I
I like
believe.
my questions at the top.
Oh yeah. I believe the trivia will be in the arcade, and it's gonna be cool. Basically, I don't know. I don't have anything else to say about that.
Yeah, take your word on him.
Take
It's
my
gonna
word
be
on it.
cool.
Check out the website. Go ahead and add questions. It's also free for anyone else to use if you want to make your own trivia game. The API is pretty simple. It's got a bunch of documentation on it, and you can make your own applications too. Pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Too bad Caboose is here. We'd have more to say about it.
He says he's back.
I'm here.
Oh, you want to talk about your thing real quick? Do you have anything else?
I have a very big delay.
Oh. Well, I
no,
just.
it's
Go ahead.
I'm satellite time. I can't talk.
Oh. Well, okay.
Oh.
He's on the moon right now, so
Nice.
Anyways.
Houston, we have a problem. Caboose is on the moon.
So I think it's well, we don't really have much else, do we? Right now. Oh yeah. Hold on. Chronicle. You wanna show your thing off that you made?
Sure.
Let me see it.
Sure.
Let me see it.
Well, you don't seem too
it on-
enthusiastic there, champ.
Put it on, there you go. There you go.
So I thought it would be neat if we had a hat that was a gas mask. And since I had one of these, I decided that I would model one. So I did.
Very good, very good. Well done. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Best job. Best job.
More interesting hats in the future, trademark.
Yeah.
All right. That's it.
That's it. Great.
Well done, dude. Well done.
I want to announce that I almost just did a 10 number key on my keyboard before I corrected
Nice.
myself.
What?
Nice.
I'm really not proud of
Those
myself.
don't exist.
Nice.
You don't exist.
F10
You
exists
just
though. Alright, turn it off. So we want to do questions or
I wanted to.
what?
As everybody's asking about casino a lot, I want to touch on that for just a moment.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Casino, right?
Isaac.
That'd be so cool. So I wanted to just talk about like the state of the casino at the moment. We have artists working on assets for casino. Let's see. I did a slot machine, poker table. Matt's doing the horse racing thing.
Blackjack
and
table too.
Blackjack table's done and all that stuff. So maximum pressure is actually on me because I'm the full-time casino worker for the next couple of weeks, and I got to design the whole back end for that. So if you want someone to yell at me and send me words of encouragement and tell me that you can do it because you got it. Basically, the casino is vastly different from all the other things in Tower, and we need to design a completely separate system for it. Myself and Fui did a few design iterations, and we haven't really found one that works perfectly, so I'm just going to kind of dive in and do some experimentation. In the roadmap, we have sort of like phases of the casino. The first phase is just going to be slots, because slots are pretty much the simplest casino game to design. So we're going to try to sort of vet our backend systems using that. So at some point in the next 2 weeks, we'll have we'll have slots in tower in some form, and you'll be able to try them out. And that's pretty much the state of it. It's just a really big system, and it's going to take a while to do. We're going to try to get it done punctually. But like I said, there's just with the number of unexpected things that have come up over the past, few months, it's been getting pushed. So it's like crazy zone now.
Well, you had to update the treasury to
Yeah.
make that happen. Like,
Right. So
a lot of that's on purpose.
Yeah, so the Treasury backend was updated to support different currency types because we'll have casino chips and tickets for like the arcade and that sort of stuff going forward. So I redesigned that over the past week or so, and that seems to be working fine. So pretty much for me, it's going to be all casino. That's what I'm going to be working on all day, every day till the day I die.
Rest in peace.
So I hope I can get it done, guys. Here's hoping that it works. Right?
It'll work out.
Yeah.
I mean, for information you guys probably didn't know, the card base in Gmod Tower was all Zach. So that's something you can basically trust in him. That's what he's doing.
What was the one? There was an edge case
neat
where
time.
like you could get a hand of cards and it wouldn't score it correctly, but I can't remember what
it
it
wasn't
was.
too bad. I don't remember.
Basically, here's the thing about casino. It's something that you can't like do most of the way. It has to work pretty much perfectly. We're talking about people transferring large amounts of sort of time. That's sort of the unit of currency in Tower is time. It's how much time you've spent playing. It's how much time you've invested in ball race and mini golf and all our mini games. And if something goes wrong and that invested time gets lost, people are going to be really angry about it. So the casino not only has to work, it has to work pretty much flawlessly. And that is very difficult to do. So and I'm not saying that this is a thing that's going to happen, but if it's delayed for any reason, it's because it's not ready. And that's the same goes for any feature that we work on. If we were to put out casino earlier than it was ready and somebody lost all their units and something went terribly wrong for multiple people,
Someone gained millions of units.
or someone gained millions of units, we would have a much larger problem on our hands, and that would mean pushing back development on other things even further. And that's just a mess. So I just sort of wanted to kind of like break down that wall of like what's going on behind the scenes here. Like, we want to get it out. We want to get it done. We love casino. We really want to do it. Like, it's just that it's a really complicated piece of kit, and we want to do it right.
Also, we have a really high standard, so
Yeah.
to maintain that. Pretty much everything he said. But is that all you want to talk about, Zach?
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of not the best formed, statement on it. I didn't really prepare it, but that's generally how what I wanted to get across.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I love casino, and I want it to get in. I want to get it done. It's gonna be cool.
It is. I'm really excited about it. Always excited about it. I love spin to win. All that. Seeing people spin it and then win nothing.
Yeah, because like the thing that I've been working on most for the past few months is the currency stuff, making sure the bank works and updating that and fixing little bugs with that. And that's just been sucking up most of my time.
All right.
By the way, you were just placing down those meshes as an example, and they weren't
Yeah.
actually part of the game. That was just to show off the assets.
Yeah, pretty much. I was just showing off that.
We do all that in Blueprint.
Yeah, it would all be like programmatic. So like in this blackjack thing, I haven't thought about what I want to do yet. If I want to do 2D or 3D, but like kind of weighing over in the 3D area. So like the cards could be placed on the table, and it'd be all in program. And like the chips would be placed on the table. Like there's certain like really crazy things from a not back end standpoint that we also want to do, where like you can see all the bets that are about to be taken, even if you're not in the game, because that was another thing in the original poker, you couldn't see that. So, and like I'm placing everything down manually, but there's a slot machine now like you can play around with, but it doesn't pay out. I mean, this slot machine is all like Blueprint, so like the slots themselves are all placed down by code and not manual. So I'm just showing off the assets, the new ones, because they're not ready gameplay wise. Alright, close that. Oh. Let's see. What do you want to say about that? Because like people are asking about the random number generators.
Yeah. So at one point early on, I kind of messed around with random number generation and kind of did a sort of post-mortem on the previous iteration of the spin to win and came up with some better algorithms for generating actual random outcomes. The key thing that makes it kind of difficult is weighting the randomness such that you get certain items more often than others. And the previous way that I did it wasn't very good. Basically, it would pick a random number using like just kind of like rolling virtual dice. It would just be like, did this random number come up? And then items that were more rare would require you to roll the same number multiple times. So it's like if you wanted to get like a Star Fox trophy, you had to literally it's the equivalent of like rolling a die and having it come up like 5 or 6 times in a row in order to get it, which was not the correct way to do that. Possible, yes, but very, very unlikely. And it was just sort of the it just became exponentially hard, and I wasn't kind of tracking that. I kind of ran simulations to determine like how often things were going to be paid out, but those simulations turned up to be not very accurate. So about a few months ago, I wrote a better random number generator to do that stuff, and I ended up with some much more promising results. Did more research on it, so we'll be using better stuff this time. Trust me.
Yeah, and I did a lot of research with slot machines too, and I know Zach is like crazy about this stuff. Like with the bowling, oh my god, Zach, I don't, we talked about it a long time ago with our stream, but like we did like regulation standards for the bowling. Like if the pin has to fall over, like if the pin falls over, it falls over because it is regulation.
Yeah.
He's crazy about that stuff. So
I went and did some research, and regulation for bowling pins is if they tip over by more than 10 degrees, that's when they fall over. So I made like a tester and then like put a pin in front of it and had a thing push it over and then measure like the angle and all kinds of crazy stuff. So
right.
we do take this stuff pretty seriously. We also take some artistic liberties in cases where it doesn't really need to be super accurate, but we
Yeah.
try to be we try to do good by, you know, the games that we emulate.
The middle ground, I guess. Like, because I personally, like, when we did the original slot machine, we did more research on it, and having it more real world would actually make it feel somewhat cheating. Like, it would not feel good because in the real world they use like 128 rolls, you know, and then they like kind of try to make it fit into the symbols you have, but it's super not fun. Like in games, like in a real game, that's not fun. So we basically take a little bit of liberty to make it a little better.
Kind of like how real mini golf isn't fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I
it is, but
mean,
like it's not the same. Like if you did, like
yeah.
people get pissed when the ball doesn't go in the hole. Like
There's no
that
mini
kind of
golf
stuff.
course out there where you can go down an entire
Sick ice
tube.
luge? What?
Yeah.
Or funnels.
Or funnels.
Yeah. Like funnels would be too easy in real mini golf. Anybody I've ever mini golfed with, they just like hit it full blast and they're like, "What? Why did I not get in the hole?" And I'm like, "You gotta bend your knees."
Also, I wanted to address that for a moment.
Nice.
After Casino gets sorted out, I had some ideas on how to fix a couple little bugs with mini golf. One of the things was when you're like on the lip of the cup when you're about to get the ball in the hole. Sometimes the physics just stops, and then the ball just sits there. And that's like a weird physics edge case. So I had an idea where the hole applies like a sort of local vortex on like the vertical plane. So it sort of sucks the ball in horizontally or on the X and Y axis, but not vertically. And that way it'll just kind of keep the ball moving if it's moving in that range of the cup. So I have a couple ideas on how to like fix some of that stuff. So that's another thing I want to take a look at.
I know Fui also has something too he wants to fix with the soap stuffing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so you both are working on.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll open it up to questions because kind of tired from the last update.
We need to do the questions on
Yeah.
that thread.
So we had a thread because we canceled our last stream last week because we were working on this update, and we just felt it wasn't the right time for us to do a stream because we didn't have much to show off that, you know, it just wasn't ready. So we did a post and we asked people to post their questions ahead of time so that we can kind of like formulate things a little better. So I'm just gonna go through that thread real quick and kind of jog my memory on some of these too. So one question was about how the games have like a fast pace and like how will the pace of like Little Crusaders be affected and games similar like that? Are they going to be just as fast paced or, you know, slower? Pretty much like the pacing on all the games are going to be, I kind of personally feel like they should be all over the place. Like we're gonna aim for like quick games that are like not as long as mini golf, but if they're fun, they're fun. Like if it takes an hour to play a round of one game, but everyone enjoys it, then that works for us. But if it's a game that just is going on and just isn't fun, then yeah, we would make the pacing a lot faster. So really, it's affected by feedback. So I would say like Little Crusaders would be similar to GMT because we knew that that was working and people enjoyed it. So, and then another question was, do you have any plans for the mutators and how they will work? Nothing that I can say about mutators right now. And then this is a good question because this is about the poll we did. We did a poll and we're still getting results from that. But someone asked about if Accelerate gets voted to be the next game world, will you use the maps you worked on at the start of development And will there be car customization? So that's 2 questions. No, we will not use the same maps, and I don't know about car customization yet. So I can show the thread on the stream. Sure. Oh, wrong one. There it is. Okay. Let's see. Another quick thing was what tools will workshop modders get? I don't know yet. That's a really quick answer. I don't know yet. Just gonna have to wait until we figure that out down the road. We have no plans to do payout changes next patch. That's that question. Obviously the patch just already came out, so I don't know what we're gonna just keep doing it. Let's see, condo for peer-to-peer is live, so that's good. Got that one. And let's keep going. The egg might turn into a pet in the future, but I'm not sure yet. So that could change. It's not finished. And then that's pretty much all the questions that were asked on that thread. So
It'd be neat if like the egg just randomly
like
hatched
yeah,
in your condo.
I would really like that. And I think it's a interesting thing we can do later, but much further in the future.
We should create another one of those threads for
Yeah,
next
we
week.
should. I like doing the threads. It's a little easier because it's when you guys post on Twitch, it's so fast. And it's really hard for us to catch every single question. And so when it's on the forums, we can actually like read about it and maybe even reply to you right then and there. Because sometimes I do. I had trouble not doing that actually. I was trying to do it on the stream because that's what I said. So we'll probably do another one. So just look up for that thread and I'll post it. But since I haven't done that, I guess I'll start answering questions on stream chat. So I gotta read them all though. I don't think it stores every single question in the last like hour. Fortunately. I'm just gonna pick the top ones.
I wound up answering something animation related.
I'll go for it because I'm gonna read the rest of them. What is it?
Oh, well, somebody just asked if the virus run animations were a placeholder. My response was, in a way, yeah, and that I'll end up revisiting a lot of the animations in the future to make them more suitable. So I'll probably end up at some point after Little Crusaders, if we ever get to that, or when we get to that phrase. In other words, when our plate is a little more cleared, I'll end up revisiting a lot of the animations. Probably give virus infected a custom animation, run animation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a little hobble to them actually too, and that's because we need to do another pass through of the.
Yeah. A lot of blend shape oriented stuff.
Someone asked about Source 2. I'm gonna say it again. We're not going to Source 2. All right.
Good job.
Yeah, thanks.
That was a really hard one.
It was. The monorail track in the plaza. What's up with that? Well, actually, I kind of read it really weirdly. What is that weird monorail track above the plaza? We're working on the monorail, so that's what that is.
Also, for Source 2, people are like wondering why we didn't do Source 2 in the first place. And your answer is because there still isn't any Source 2 to this day yet. Like, other than like the Dota 2 tools, but like there's no, you can't currently license the Source engine right now, I'm pretty sure, like at all. And that wasn't an option when we started, and it still isn't an option. So you could have waited another year for Tower Unite and still would have had absolutely nothing. Like,
Not to mention that when we pick an engine, it's a year of development on this engine so far. I mean, about 7 months of actual like full-time development, but then we've ported it earlier in the year. But it's once you go down the path of choosing the engine, and we made a really careful choice, we can't switch it unless you want to see the game never. Like you want to have it delayed for 2 years, sure. Switching engines is a huge thing. You can't just do that. Let's see what else we got here. That is not a question. I talked about that. Oh man, talked about that. Spin the wheel. Bowling. Talking about that. To really show what my screen looks like, so they can see what I'm picking through. Sec. All right, we got pet naming. Okay, so yeah, we'll probably have pet naming later. The pets are very unfinished, so we will probably do that. And we do have more plans about the player models. They're placeholders right now, and workshop also will really help with the player models.
Breaking
What
news.
about the MIDI
just-
question?
The what?
The MIDI question?
Oh yeah. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
MIDI is totally possible. Someday. It's kind of a lower priority with the other stuff we have going on right now, but it's definitely something we could do someday.
Mm-hmm. It's it only works for one item though too, right? Like
Yeah.
You can't
Well,
have it for drums and stuff.
You could use it for drums though.
They have
I mean,
MIDI
it
drums.
could just. Yeah, but you can also just map the keyboard keys to the drums.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, that's the thing. And the second half of that question was about VR, and our answer on VR is that we don't have a lot of gameplay that complements VR, so we don't have any plans to do any VR stuff yet.
Yeah, VR's changed. I mean, we mentioned this extensively in the last stream, but yeah, VR has changed quite a lot, so we have to really think about that. Anyways.
I mean, the original plan was we just have VR support so you can walk around with your device on, but now it's a lot more involved. Like, that doesn't make a good VR experience, so we'd have to think through that.
Matt, how'd you get all those keycaps done so fast? Jeez.
Control J, Control T, press the key, do it over again until your brain melts. I hate everything.
Jeez.
What are these foreign 3ds Max keys you speak of?
Those are Photoshop hotkeys, but
Oh, just kidding.
he's got some.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna just go from here. Any plans on adding water park carnival? Or maybe not. No, but we're gonna do like Plaza is always gonna have new stuff. So if people really want like things like that, vote it up on the suggestions, and if we find it fits in our game, we'll add it. But not right now. We got to finish what we have first. Any plans on similar items to confetti gun or something? Yeah, we do have some other plans for like firework guns and stuff. So, no idea when they're gonna come out. They just kind of come out randomly. Items are pretty random. Usually it's a downtime type of thing where we're busy on something and then we just want to make an item and we do. So they kind of come out randomly. The Linux client, if you look on Trello, it tells you the date. I don't know how good the estimate is going to be. We're really kind of focusing on the Windows side of things, so could be quite a while, unfortunately, because it will slow down development significantly to keep porting it every update. So until we can get a good workflow for that, it's going to be a while. Mostly, we're all over the world, so when we do like builds, it's like remote. We're trying to get it all together so we can have like some sort of building system. It's more local. Got that answered. I don't know if I want to answer that one. I think it's doing really well. It's popular. It'll just keep getting more popular. We'll be your bartender. Not in the bowling alley, but I think we're working on like something else though. I don't want to say what it is though.
Oh yeah.
Okay. This is why it takes so long to go through all the Twitch. Now you know. I have to read them all before I even about it. The ping issue. Yeah, that actually is because we can't show it because the way Steamworks is handled in the Unreal Engine for those types of servers. So we'll actually end up probably hiding that. But we're talking about a lot of that stuff, like showing how many holes are in the mini golf and stuff. I can't really say what our answer is to that yet, but we're looking into that stuff. It's a constant thing that we're talking about.
Can I quickly tackle the source code or the accelerate question? Because I just
Yeah,
wanted
you
to
want to?
touch on that. Just a quick touch on that. Making source cards the way we made it in source would take quite a while. And one of the things that we've been kind of talking about was what sort of scale of mini games and game worlds we wanted to do. And we feel that if we tried to make it like source cards, the scope of it would start to get pretty big and it would push off development of other things. So we try to kind of keep these game worlds relatively small in the scope of our project. The main question we ask ourselves is like, would this be better to make as like a separate game, or is this something we want to make and put in Tower and accelerate? We need to kind of redesign it. We need to kind of come up with something that's a bit scoped down from what it was before, but still a lot of fun. So that's sort of what Mac meant when he posted that it wasn't going to be like Mario Kart, is that we need to redevelop it.
The other reason I mentioned that, to just also touch on it, we're not a team of, we're not Nintendo. I don't want to say like we're bad. We're not bad. We're good in our own rights, but we're not 200 people. You know, Nintendo Mario Kart is made by a huge team with huge funding, and they work on. I think Mario Kart 8 was like 2 or 3 years of development. I could be wrong, but you can tell there's lots and lots of years put into that game, especially Mario Kart 8, because you know it's the 8th version of that game. So they've been good at that for years. Like, and for us to like even get close to Mario Kart, which is what I mentioned, would be pretty crazy. And I don't want people to get the wrong idea that when Accelerate comes out, that it just, you know, it should be Mario Kart, but it's not gonna be. Like, you gotta kind of. So what the idea that Zach was mentioning is like we want to come up with something that's fun for our game, and not just one-on-one create a Mario Kart game. Not
Because we won't
just
be able to do
because.
it well enough.
Yeah, not just that, but also because that's kind of lame. Like just making the same game. So we're still thinking about what that's gonna be. So I just want you guys all to realize that it's not just gonna be, I don't know what you're
and,
thinking.
and bear in mind, if we had like infinite time and resources, we'd probably do it. Like,
Yeah, that's the other thing.
but
that
we just
goes
don't.
for everything that we do. Just improving the game, making new stuff. It requires a lot of man hours and a lot of resources, which is something we don't have that much of.
And we want the games to be great still. I mean, so just realize it's not gonna be, you know, Mario Kart. It's gonna be great. It really is. It's gonna be good, but it's not gonna be like a clone. Like, I don't know. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, just making clones is also a lame thing to do anyway.
Yeah, it is. And we don't have much time left, so let's see if I can get through these. Will you make wall dividers for specific rooms? Could someday. I don't know. Maybe. Already answered that. Already answered that. Yeah, we're gonna probably have tweaks to Jetpack, but I don't know what they're gonna be. I know we wanna like change that significantly. The YouTube video stuff, yeah, we're gonna probably come up with a similar way that we did for cinema, but I don't know when, you know. So
Yeah, the YouTube thing is just like, we need this functional to get in the game.
yeah,
It's early access, so we'll improve these features over time.
pretty much, I guess, like as a blanket answer to most of these questions, if it's something like, hey, are you gonna improve this thing? We most likely are. We read like everything on the forums. We're kind of crazy about that stuff, and we know also by playtesting on our own what things really need polish, and we're gonna be just constantly improving things. Like just
Yeah, if you see a problem, we probably know about it.
yeah. So it's like things like, oh, are you gonna add this item? We probably will if you guys suggest it and gets a lot of like votes and probably will. I mean, and same like if are you gonna improve this? We probably are. So I feel like a lot of those questions are similar. I've been reading. So the answer is pretty much always yes. Like I don't think we're ever gonna leave something just completely broken and not fun, because that's not the type of quality we have. Let's see. I think all the questions pretty much have been asked that I can answer right now. Anything about workshop I really can't answer, so sorry about that.
We should open up a thread for questions
Yeah,
for the next stream.
if you could do that, and then I'll wrap it up, and then you guys can ask more of these questions, because like I said, you can see how hard it is for me, because there's a lot of questions that come in. And I think if you guys post on like a thread, and we can read it and respond to it, or answer it in the next stream, we can do these Q&As a lot better, because it's hard to get all these. Well, you guys have some really good questions though, so thank you for asking them. Gives us a lot of insight to what people want.
Thank you for showing us your brains.
Yeah. I also didn't get much sleep. I'm tired, so I'm sorry my voice is really boring. Yeah.
That update took a toll on us.
Yeah, it was quite fun. I guess I'm gonna end on that. That update had a lot of things that just broke, that just we did not expect, and it just kept killing us. So, but it's out, it's done, and you guys can enjoy it, and I'll end the stream on that. If you guys have when you guys get the post, but go play Tarry Night, go check out the new maps, give us some feedback on them. We'd love to improve.
And oh my
on the
god,
maps.
tell your friends.
And tell your friends about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you have the thread? Just put it in suggestions.
Thread.
Yeah.
We'll have a thread and suggestions. I'm
Yeah,
sure. That's where we usually put it, right?
Yeah, we do. Well, we put it in announcements last time, which is probably the wrong place. I need to figure it out. Put it in maybe like
Stream
like
arenas.
pinned suggestion, like pin it in suggestions. That would be pretty good.
Yeah, that'd be good. Big questions for next stream we could do.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah, people who ask about optimization, we're always doing that. Always doing that. So don't ask us questions about that, please. We're always optimizing our game. It bothers me because I came in the lobby and they're like, "Are you guys gonna optimize the game anytime?" I'm like, "We're always doing that." Yes, the answer is yes. It's always yes.
in little subtle ways when we can. It's like disabling a dynamic light here, turning a thing.
It is a constant battle.
Fixing a thing here, It is. We have a couple of guys that have been kind of doing that a lot. So
Lifeless optimized a lot of the lobby, and he is constantly doing that, and he's crazy about the lobby, making it run a lot better. So every update should have some sort of optimization. Anyways, all right, that's a good
We
place
got-
to close.
Yeah, I think so. Huh?
we got a thread where you
Okay,
can ask
cool.
us questions, and we'll go over those and maybe answer a few next stream.
Or
Yeah,
answer
it's
them
linked
right
in the
away,
chat.
depending on
Yeah,
if we're in the mood. If
Yeah.
we're so inclined and we see a question that we can answer really quick in that thread, we'll do it.
My Discord says I'm streaming. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well,
It even
all right.
shows you what channel you're streaming to. That's pretty cool.
That's
That is
amazing.
neat, actually.
All right.
So, we'll look forward to seeing you guys in 2 weeks. What is it, 3rd? I gotta redo the stream schedule, so if you follow that, I'm gonna redo it. But it's the 3rd for the next stream of June. Oh my god, it's already June. You
No
you wanna
stop.
end it, Zach?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. Thanks for asking questions and hearing about all the crazy stuff that we've been working on. Everybody, if it's nighttime, have a good night. If it's daytime, have a good morning, and we'll see you. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Papa bless.
Bye.
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 See ya.